Hey, welcome in. Let the good vibes all begin. Something good is about to happen. Sure. I've been waiting on you. Got a seat with your name. Started with a coffee chat. Now we about to change the game. You got a story worth telling, and I got a room full of ears. So drop whatever you've been holding, get ready because your time is here. Because when real people talk to real people, something shifts. When real stories meet real listeners, something lifts. Every Saturday we show up and we bring our best. Show up to Carrie Connects and leave it best. Show up, show up. Something is happening here. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. This is your moment, come near where every story intersects and every heart connects. From a coffee chat to the main stage, just bring who you are. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. Connection is the start. Carrie Connects. Entrepreneurs, voices, friends, where inspiration never ends. You did not come this far just to sit in the back. Everything you walk through was getting you ready for that. So step into the light. Let somebody see your face, because the right conversation can change everything in this place. When real people talk to real people, something shifts. And real stories meet real listeners, something lifts. Every Saturday we show up and we bring our best. Show up to Carrie Connects and leave it bright. Show up. Something is happening here. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. This is your moment, come near where every story intersects and every heart connects. So the coffee chat to the main stage, just bring who you are. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. And that journey is the start. We started over coffee just to see if it was real. Yeah, you opened up and showed me everything you feel. Now the world is watching and they take the very best chance. Carrie Connects is where somebody finally cares. Show up. Something is happening here. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. This is your moment, come near. Every story intersects and every heart connects. From the coffee chat to the main stage, just bring who you are. Carrie Connects. Real conversations, real connections. This is Carrie Connects. Show up.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to another amazing edition of Carrie Connects. I am fired up this Saturday, May 23rd. We are in Gemini season, and so of course I had to get a Gemini on the call. This is my childhood friend, Sameerah Jones. We are so excited to have you here with us on Carrie Connects. So I want you to just come as you are and tell us who you are. Beyond the brand, of course, we're going to get into that. But you are a wife, a mama, and a brand new grandmother. And I have to say, you are the woman who learned everything that she needed to know in her mother's kitchen. And we're going to talk about that as well. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, Carrie, that was one of the best intros. That song and everything you did prior to that, I was definitely jamming to that. That made you get upbeat before you actually even got on the camera. So that is definitely
All
good.
right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, me and Carrie have been childhood friends. Our mothers were really close, and then we grew up really close. Like she said, I'm Sameerah Jones, Sameerah Idris on Facebook, and I think about every other platform. I'm Sameerah Idris on that. I am the owner and operator of Island Rose LLC. I've been married for 30 years in August. I have four beautiful children that range from the age of 32 to 26. So 26, 27, 28, and 32 in June. I have a beautiful grandson named Legend. That is my heart. That is my everything. Um, I take care of him full time also because I don't want him to be in any type of daycare. So I take care of him for my son and his mom. So that's another full time gig. Being 52 almost and running behind a toddler is work. Every time he goes home to his mama and his daddy, I'm exhausted. I just want to climb in my bed and go to sleep.
I
Um,
love that. I love that. So, a mom, a wife of 30 years, four beautiful children, and this new grandbaby Legend that you
mhm,
are running behind. And so, I absolutely love that idea of family because that's extremely important. So, with our moms being friends and then with us being friends, I think it's just absolutely amazing. Now, one of the things that's really important to me is family, but the other thing that's really important to me is my friendships. And so I
mhm.
want to take a few seconds just to say hello to a couple of friends who have taken time out of their busy schedule to say hello to us. So I'm going to pop the comments up on the screen. And if you're on Instagram and you only see half of my head, my bad. I'm going to scoot over a little bit to try to make that adjustment. We're doing the best we can, okay? All right, so let me just go ahead and say hello to a few people who have joined us, and then I'll show the comments on the stage as well. So, first of all, we have Miss Leslie Flowers. She lives in North Carolina. I know you're in South Carolina, but she is
Yes.
joining us today and saying hello. And then we also have Mr. Kenneth Dunner, who always tells us to savor the flavor. Mr. Kenneth Dunner Jr. is in Texas. And then we have Miss Leanna Stockluoma visiting us from Duluth, Minnesota. And this is the person who I call my earth angel, Christy D. Williams. Just introduced me to such an amazing community of people that show up, that connect, that share your post, make comments because they know that that boosts the algorithms. So I absolutely love this community that she introduced me to. So I want to make sure to say hello to Christy D. Williams. I believe, she said that she's in Florida. I was going to say Florida. Now, Jairus, I'm not sure where you are, but Jairus always shows up. He's a new friend. And so I appreciate you showing up and saying hello to everyone. We want to make sure that you all engage with each other in the comments. And of course, as always, make sure that if you have questions or comments for our guests, drop them in the comments section. I can only see the comments on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn live. So if you're watching any place else, we appreciate you and we'll get to those comments after the show. So if you're on one of those three platforms, make sure that you are leaving comments so that we can say hello. And then of course, Adrian is here. Hi, Adrian. Oh, it's raining and storming where she is. I see the little storm umbrellas. We were just talking about the weather. I don't know what the weather is here. I got on a sock, a boot, a flip flop, a coat, a hat, a jacket. I mean, it's like the Midwest just does not know what it wants to do, and that's okay. Now, this is one of my besties beyond borders, buddies, and business partner, Layla, who is checking in from Canada. So we appreciate you. We international. Okay, get into it. And then, of course, we have Jay. Hi. He said, I'm the financial princess. Get into it, right? We love everything that has to do with Star Wars and everything that has to do with Marvel. So that is our personal connection. And just a few more people. I'm trying to scroll through. I don't want to miss anyone. Make sure that you continue to drop your comments in the comment section for our guests. And it's not too late for you to reshare this and get some more people into the room. You all don't want to miss this conversation. This is extremely important. One of the things that makes this conversation so important is that Island Rose Essentials LLC. Sameerah, you named that after your mother, who we lovingly call Sister Rose. So
Yeah.
tell us about her and what those late night crafting sessions really meant to you.
So yes, I did name my lovely baby after my mom. In actuality, it wasn't even supposed to be a candle company. We were going to do limousine services, and we were going to call it Island Rose Fleets, is what we were going to originally
Mm,
call the company.
okay.
But then once we did the Googling and searching and looking, I was like, and that's a little bit too much right now that we can bite off. So then I was like, okay, Island Rose for candles. But I actually didn't name it Island Rose. My husband gave me that name, Island Rose. So
Oh,
that's where that name came from. He said, let's name it after your mom. And I was like, okay, so that's cool. But to transition it over to candle making, basically one night I was laying in the bed, tossing and turning. My husband said, you got to find something to do. You're keeping me up all night. You're hitting me. You're this, that, and the third. Find something, because I was so unfulfilled doing what I was doing. So
okay.
I rolled over, got my phone, and I Googled, I YouTube how to make a candle. And that's
Oh,
where it went.
wow.
Woke up the next day, I was like, I want to make candles. And he was like, okay. I said, can I get some money to make the candles? And he said, yeah, I got $60. Can you make that work? And I was like, well, that's what we got to do, $60. At that point in time, I went to every wrong place possible, Carrie, and bought everything that was wrong. The wrong wicks. I had the scent that you put like for aromatherapy. You can't use that in candles like that. I had everything mismatched, but I made it work. I made it do what it do. I made it do what it do. And then with research and studying and getting on YouTube, staying up all night, just going down the rabbit hole of candles, I started learning everything that I do know. Stacking my vendor list so I can know who to buy from and what scents are good, what scents that I don't want, what company waters down their scents versus the company that doesn't. And then when I sat and I thought about it, I was like, what pairs with candles? And then I was like, oh, I can make some soap. Oh, I can do this,
Yes.
that, and the third. So I just started adding on to just the candles. But
I
my
love that
mom,
you found something to pair with it.
yes. I don't know. It was like, I was thinking in my head, I was like, what does Bath and Body Works sell really? And I was like, they sell candles, but they also sell lotion. They also sell body mist and body spray and hand sanitizers and all of these things. So I was like, well, okay, no problem. Then I can just do the same thing. I can make my own soap. I can make my own candles. I can do all of those things, and I could just have my own brand of Island Rose. And it wasn't even Island Rose Essentials. The essentials came from my youngest daughter, Raven. I needed to figure out a way, because it was Island Rose Candle Company, but I sell more than candles. So I didn't want to just focus on the candles, because I thought, I say Island Rose candles, most people are going to hone in and say it's just candles. So she was like, mommy, use essentials, because the word essentials, everybody needs something. Everything, some things are essential. Soap is essential. Body butter is essential. Everything that I pretty much make is essential. So that's what she gave me the name. So we flipped it and got rid of the candle company and named it Island Rose Essentials. And then we LLC'd it.
I love that. An LLC is important, but I also think it's important too, Sameerah, because you talked about in the beginning you bought the wrong products and so you just
Mhm.
made it do what it do. But I love that over time you have developed this standard, and I see a lot of product makers don't ever commit to this standard. I see it in the food industry, I see it in the educational institutions, I see it in a lot of places. But what I love about you is that you only sell products that you would put on your own skin. So, where did that standard come from, and why is that so important to you?
Basically, because I want to know what I put on my skin. Your skin is your biggest organ, and 100% of your body is covered by skin. So, like I said before, people don't understand that you sit in your room, you put on lotion, all of that is absorbed in your bloodstream. So, you think it's just you eating it and you ingested it via your mouth. No, your skin, your nose, all of those things are going into our system, and then we're trying to figure out why we got cancer and why we got this and why we got that. Okay, it's everything that we're eating, but just not that. It's everything that we're washing our clothes with, everything that we're putting on our body, all of the scents and everything, is just about everything. So my standard is basically, if I don't want to use it, I took my standard from working in fast food restaurants. I always taught my
Okay,
crew, if you're not going to eat it, then you're not going to sell it. So in
that's
my
smart.
case, if I'm not going to use it, then I'm not going to sell it. So every batch of soap that I make, I check the pH balance. I'm in a lot of soap groups, and they're like, oh, if you've been doing it for so long, and I've been making soap for 10 years, but if you've been doing it for so long, you don't need to check your pH balance. No, each batch of soap that I make, I check the pH balance. just for my
Wow.
own safety. I don't want to put out nothing that the pH is too high and then your skin get dried out, or the lye isn't saponified in it long enough and now you're getting lye burns and all this unnecessary stuff because you don't want to take that secondary measure and just put that little strip on there and make sure it's in that green. Make sure that it's in between like 8, 9, or 10 inside of that pH balance where you're not harming someone's skin. So it's definitely
Wow.
important that I use the best ingredients that I can find. And of course, I don't know when the last time I bought soap. I don't buy soap. I don't buy candles. I don't buy body butter. I don't buy carpet freshener. I don't buy eventually anything that I had to use, I'll be able to make it eventually. So
I
toothpaste,
love
deodorant,
that.
whatever that is, I'm not buying anything. If I can make it in my kitchen, then I'm definitely going to make it.
I love that. And I love that I consider myself to be extremely intelligent, and other people do as well. But you dropped some words. You talked about pH balance, which I'm familiar with. You used the word saponified, and you're
Mhm.
talking about all of these different products. And a lot of times, because I have so many allergies, when I go out to the store, I'm reading ingredients. And I always say, if I cannot pronounce it, I am not going to buy it. If my grandmother or great grandmother would not be able to identify it, then I'm not
Mhm.
going to eat it. So I love that you take the time to make these products. Kind of walk us through what actually goes into one of your products, because most people, they honestly, they don't have any idea what's in their lotion. They have no clue what's in their candles. I remember having a terrible allergic reaction. These candles smell so good in the store, but when I brought them home and I burned them, I
Mhm.
found out that they had soy, and I cannot use soy products. I cannot use corn products. And I know some people use soy, but I happen to be allergic to soy.
Mhm.
So most people don't even know what's in their lotion. They don't know what's in their candles. So what are some things they should be paying attention to?
The first thing that I pay attention to is the ingredient list. We all know when
Mm.
you do the ingredient list, the very first ingredient that's listed is the most that's in the product. So anytime you look at a box or anything and you say, let's just say coconut oil, know that that is the most amount. The highest amount is the coconut oil. But I formulate all of my soap recipes on this app called soap.net, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a percentage of oil. It's every oil has a certain percentage that you have to use. So put it like this: say
Mm.
coconut oils has 15%. That way you won't over dry your skin or anything, because each oil has a saponification percentage. How much lye it's going to take to turn it into soap, basically. So with that being said, if I make a bar soap, let's just talk about the ingredients for bar soap. My bar soap is standard across the board. I pretty much don't change my recipe too much. I use coconut oil, organic coconut oil. I use 100% olive oil. I use shea butter, unrefined shea butter, because there is a difference between refined and unrefined. Refined shea butter, it takes the scent, it takes that earthy scent. You know how shea butter smells kind of
Mm-hmm.
earthy and it's overpowering. The refined version of it takes that out, but it goes through a really bad process. So any kind of oil that you see refined, know that they did a whole lot of stuff to that oil, and it's not the best oil to use. So
Mm.
I used unrefined shea butter for my soap, and then I use castor oil and I use jojoba oil, because jojoba oil has like a natural skin effect. The oil is as close to your skin as possible, so I use jojoba oil, and then I use castor oil in it. I put vitamin E in it. The vitamin E doubles as, it helps your skin, and it also doubles as a preservative, so I add that in there. And then the water, which is 100% distilled water, and then the lye, and that's it. That's it. It's not even, I don't even think it's 10 products in the soap. The oil
Wow.
stuff, and then after I cook the soap, then I'll add organic turmeric, raw organic honey. Let's see, just about anything. If I said that I'm gonna make pumpkin soap, then I'll buy some pumpkin out of the store, cook it down, strain it, measure it, put it in there. Um, So everything, maybe my soap has, some soap might have 6 ingredients, some soap might have 11 ingredients, but you can read and understand each one of those. So it's basic. You don't have to go to Google to figure out what that 16 letter word meant in that doggone soap description. You can be like, oh, that's turmeric. I got that in my closet. Oh, that's coconut. I got that in my closet. So it has to be as close to natural as possible. So 100% if possible.
I love that. I love that. We have a few questions from the audience. That's so interesting to me on the creative side because the things that I do, even putting this show together, there are
Mhm.
certain ingredients, right? I have a standard of excellence that I want for my shows. So I love hearing that for your business when it comes to Island Rose Essentials LLC, that you take the time to monitor what your ingredients are that are going into your products, which I think is so valuable.
Mhm.
And Layla wants to know, what would you recommend for small business handmade products to grow their business, like to find new places to sell their soap, bath bombs, bath salt, lip balms, etc.?
So she said, what would you recommend a small business handmade products to grow the business to find new
Yeah, how
places?
can they grow their business?
So I grow my business. Social media is a big beast. So
Mm-hmm.
most of all of my all of my sales or all of my customers have either come from social media, word of mouth from my friends, or vendor events. So the biggest thing is networking. You got to get out there. You got to network. You got to talk to people. You got to have that elevator speech. So whenever you meeting somebody, hey, how you doing? Blah 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 blah, and then introduce yourself and you sell this, that, and other. But my biggest avenues have been vendor events and social media. And with the vendor events, I don't always make a lot of money at the vendor events, but one thing for sure, I make a connection. And that's the most important thing. One vendor event, I made a connection with a man, and he was ordering between $500 to $700 worth of soap products every month. So it's definitely, to answer that question, vendor events, and then just marketing on your social media platforms.
I love that. Thank you so much for answering that question. And then we have another question from Jedi J. He says, do you believe that AI will make a positive impact in your business? Or do you believe instead of using like artificial intelligence, you should just focus on the human experience?
So that is a real good question, because to answer that question, we've been using AI for years. If you really think about it, long they bring stuff out years before they actually present it to us like it's brand new. Every time we get on Google, there's some, human sitting back there telling us everything. It's some artificial intelligence telling us everything. So, like I told my girlfriend, you either get with the program or you get left behind. Let's just go years ago before the internet came into the world. Didn't nobody want to go to the internet? You wanted to still go to the library. You wanted to still open up the phone book and thumb through the yellow pages or the white pages to find this, that, and the third. But then Google came along and it became easier. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a love hate relationship. I use AI and I use human experience. I don't ever think an AI will take the place of a human experience. However, you have to use the tools that you are getting. You can't be left behind. So you're going to have to learn it, because that is the direction that the world is going into. Is it right? No, I don't agree with it 100%, but two things can be right and wrong at the same doggone time. So you just got to pick your struggle. I use
That's true.
AI when I look up recipes and everything, because the AI bot actually breaks it down a lot easier for me to understand. I don't like to read. That's just in general. You think I do, but I don't. I'm trying to learn how to enjoy reading, but I don't like to read. So I have to make it as simplistic as possible for me to retain it, because you have different ways of learning. So AI helps me, but I just don't. I've been doing this for 10 years. So before AI even came in about, I would definitely have to read and do a lot of research. So it's best, it's good and bad. So you guys just weigh your odds.
That's true, and I agree with that. I agree with that. Christy says she is learning so much. I love that people are getting value from this conversation. And Layla says she also has sensitive skin, so it's nice to hear that you're picking natural ingredients and that you test them on your skin. We got a whole coffee conversation going on where they're talking about coffee and marshmallows. And Adrian says that she loves the smell of coconut oil, which I think is great. I love how you talked about that you can do pumpkin, you do turmeric. I don't know if you do products when people place an order where they can choose which scent they want, or do you just have all the scents? Because you said some products have 6 ingredients, some will have 11 ingredients. So, what are some of the scents? Like, what are your favorite scents, and what are some of the scents that you love?
So my favorite soap would be the all natural one with nothing else in it, no synthetic oil, because I do use synthetic oils to scent the products because
Okay.
you cannot find natural. Like for instance, my favorite scent is a scent that's called Volcano. It smells amazing. It has like a fruity smell to it, and it smells amazing. Somebody bought it from me, and they made me change the name from Volcano to Come Get Me. So that's because she was like,
Okay, I was
like,
gonna
Come
say
Get Me.
volcano sound like it a little blow up. Okay, come get me. I like
So
that.
that would be one of my favorite scents. I make a soap that's Egyptian amber and baby powder. Those two together, top notch. I love it. When I do introduce synthetic oils to my soap, it has to be from a reputable dealer. It has to be paraben free. It has to be animal cruelty free. It has to meet all of those standards in order for me to use it and put it in my product. And then it's a so the government always mandates everything. You can't get
Hmm.
away from it or whatever, which is good and bad. But in this case, it's a good thing. You have, I think it's called a IFRA chart, and that tells you how much of that synthetic oil you can put in your product that's safe for a human. Whether you can
Hmm.
use that product on your face, whether you can use it in your lotion, whether you can use it in your lip products, that percentage can change based on what you're making. So I can put more of it in soap and have to put less in lotion, and have to put even less in lip balm, because of course your lips are thinner than, the skin on your lips could be more sensitive than your arm or your leg or whatever. So the percentage. So at that point, I run over to the whatever dealer I got it from. I look at that chart. I said, "Oh, I can use it. I can put it in this, that, and the third," and I go ahead and do it. Or it might say for candles only, and then now I can't put that scent in any type of body product because now it becomes toxic for us to use as far as putting on your skin.
That is a great answer to that question. And Jairus, even talking about the previous question, said you explained and answered that question very well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then Jay says if you have business, you need to have a great team and you need to have excellent advertisement, which I agree with, just supporting what you said when you were talking about marketing your business and how do you go if you're making handmade products, how do you get other people to recognize them? And Adrian has a couple of comments. Adrian said that she loves the scent of mango and lavender scented soaps. She also uses AI to help with all of her recipes, and she has the skillet over there. Okay, you better cook, Adrian. Uh, and then Kenneth Dunner Jr. says he loves unscented soaps and products, which
Mhm.
is so awesome. And I love this play on words, being a former school teacher. Jay says, well, I don't think you can say former school teacher, just like you can't say former nurse, like you're always a nurse, you're always a teacher. So
Mhm.
Jay says it makes sense to create various scents of different products for candles, health, beauty, and cosmetics, which I absolutely agree with 110%. So you all continue to drop your questions, drop your comments, continue to engage with one another. But here's what I wanted to ask you about.
Mhm.
Just kind of, it's still related to soap, but I know that you had a brick and mortar nutrition store and you
Awesome.
closed that shop that you had for 4 years, but you
Mhm.
closed it to buy your house and
Mhm.
focus on Island Rose Essentials. I
Mhm.
remember when we were talking, you said that you had to grieve that closure. So,
Mhm.
what did grief teach you about Island Rose and how important it is to you?
To answer that question, it taught me to love on her more because I don't want to grieve the loss of her.
Mm-hmm.
I almost lost her before. I actually abruptly moved in 2016. So all the clientele and everything that I had established in that short period of time that I did have my company open, I moved to Atlanta for 2 years. And then when I came back to South Carolina, she was no longer in existence. I literally parked her somewhere else. And I used to always say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it. But then I started doing other things, just to keep myself busy, because I am an entrepreneur by my mom and my dad. That's all they did. That's all we grew up seeing them do. So my mom always told me, if you can do something with your hands, you will never be broke. So I took that to heart, and I can guarantee you, these two hands, my Cash App, my Venmo, everything is always ringing. I can be broke, but then I'm not broke, because I can do something with my hands. And that, to ask that AI question too, to piggyback off of that question, when AI cannot take over everything, because a bot can't braid my hair. Okay. A bot is not going to pour candles. So certain industries, that AI is not going to be able to supersede. However, you're just going to have to get to know it and use it to the best of your ability. But to go back to the question, I don't want to grieve Island Rose. I don't want to lose her. I don't want her to be in the parking lot. So closing that store and grieving my nutrition shop let me know that I needed to pour more time into what I love to do. What I got from Ridgeville Nutrition was community. I still have customers that turn friends that I still talk to. I met a lady there. Her name is Katie. Katie and me, I found out through that Ridgeville Nutrition. Me and Katie share the same birthday, June 11th. That's my girl. So she's always commenting on my page. I'm always commenting on her pages. We pick up the phone and talk to each other all of the time. She's taken me to the store when I needed to pick up something, when my car was broke. So I made community and I made friends. So even though I had to close it for financial reasons, I didn't want to put too much on us buying a house and trying to keep this brick and mortar open. But I got my friends out of it. And that's what I love about it.
I absolutely love the fact that you were able to acquire friendships. That's so important. And one of the things that you talked about is how you all show up for each other, which I think is extremely important as well, because showing up for people matters. And so just like we have a community here of people who are in the comments section, that's community. Community is buying people's products, finding out what it is that people do. And that's really what this show is about. Carrie Connects is introducing people that I know to people who may not know you, and also being introduced to people in your community as well. So I love that. Now, I know you spent years, you mentioned, as a general manager. And as a general manager, you were running full operations, opening stores in Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina. What did that career teach you, though, about running your own business in a way that you just would not have learned in a business class?
Hands-on. I teach classes. So I got all my teaching techniques from running restaurants. You had a thing that called teach back. So once I taught you, let's just say we was making biscuits, because in opening all of those stores that I did open, there were sections. So once we got in, we did all the hiring, we did mass hiring. We would have upwards to 100 to 200 applicants that we would have to shuffle through, do their applications, make sure that they were, we was able to hire them. And then we would go ahead and hire them, get them onboarded in, then get them in their training section. So at any given time, I might be training 10, 12 people at one time in a particular section of Bojangles. And the biggest thing was for them to teach me back. So basically, once I show you how to do it the proper way from point A to point B, because you got to have policies and procedures in order to make something work right. So I'm going to teach you Bojangles procedure, because I'm big on procedures when I work for a company. You got to do it the way they want to do it. Until you put your name on that marquee, it's the Bojangle way. Okay. So basically, let's roll these biscuits out. Let's do this. And then once I show them, they have to teach it back to me. Once you can teach me back something, I know that you've committed it in your head. You have it. So that's the biggest thing. So when I go into my classes to teach my classes, you have to teach me back. You have to teach me what you got homework after you take one of my classes. Now go make this shirt, or go make this, or go make that. And then let me know what you did. You also are always connected with me. Once you invest your money in me, you are vested in me. I invested in you. So at that point in time, if you are stuck doing something, you hit me up, send me a message. I'm going to unstuck you. I'm going to get you to that next point, and a lot of my clientels, a lot of my students, now they do t-shirts. They make plenty money making t-shirts. Plenty money making t-shirts. So my job
And
is done.
they're
We're out there flying.
And I love that. And they're quality products. And I know for sure because just like I'm your client, you're my client as well. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I love about the business partnership. But I know I have bought outfits from you, the spaghetti strap. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even have on spaghetti strap right now, but there's spaghetti strap with the leggings. Get into
Mm-hmm.
it. So cute. I have about 3 different sets. Cups, and I love that you gifted me with the little bag that matched the cup. Just always being a blessing. And so you answered Martha's question. She wanted to know if you did any teaching.
I
And I know
do.
that you do the teaching for the shirts and the clothes with Cricut. And she wants to know, do you teach soap making?
So I teach, these are all the classes that I teach. I teach cricket, sublimation, DTF, uh, soap making, candle making. The soap making part, where I'm starting to do like a Zoom, and now that I'm introduced to StreamYard, I can actually use StreamYard to do the exact same thing. So thank you, Carrie, for that, because I will be using this over Zoom. Um, so yes, what happened if they wanted to do a soap making class, and of course they could be in Alabama and I could be in South Carolina. We'll set up the link. I'll tell you all the two things can happen. I'm either going to give you a list of things that you can go to the store and buy, because soap making is just that easy. Go to your local Walmart, go to your local grocery store, go buy these oils that's in the little oil aisle, go to Ace Hardware, go get 100% lye, come on back, get you some distilled water, and now we're going to make some soap. And we're going to either make cold process soap or hot process soap. So to answer that question, yes, I do. I love making soap. I love making soap, and I love teaching soap making classes.
Right. Now, you just mentioned you teach all of these classes, the candle making, the soap making, the Cricut, DTF, sublimation. So, when you're teaching those classes, what happens in those spaces when somebody makes something with their hands for the first time? So, like, I don't make soaps or candles or any of those things, right? My business is building in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just curious, like, when you see somebody that's made something for the first time, what kind of reactions do you get?
So I'm going to say the best reaction that I ever got is I taught this nonverbal. My friend has a son. He's nonverbal, 100% nonverbal. And I taught him how to use his Cricut machine. And his facial expression is what did it. He was so happy when he did his shirt, or he was understanding how to navigate through that design space. So basically, once my student gets it and they're happy and they're excited, and they're like, oh, I got it. I did it. I did it. I did it. It makes me happy. And no, I did my job once I know that they're excited about what they made. So I just look for their response. Some of them are, oh, I can't get it. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we learn different. Maybe we got to do a one-on-one or whatever, but you're going to get it. Stay encouraged. You're going to get it. But once they get it and they got it, that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me smile.
And I absolutely love that. So I saw you on another show earlier,
Mhm.
and you kind of were talking about imposter syndrome, but I know that your products are phenomenal. I know that everything that you touch, as they used to say, turns to gold. I think yours turns to platinum. And I know that I have moments where, even with all of the success I have, that I don't necessarily feel successful.
Mhm.
There was a time, now I do, but there was a time when, that imposter syndrome where you don't feel like you deserve success. So if somebody else felt like that, what would you say to them based on where you are now? Somebody that has this definition of success, but they
Mhm.
don't necessarily feel successful.
To answer that question, first thing, you got to identify it. You have to be able to
Mm-hmm.
identify it, because sometimes it could be like a disease that you don't know you have until the doctor says, "Oh, you got this."
Mm-hmm.
So now we need to treat what you got. So to help them treat it, I'd say do positive affirmations, telling yourself that this is what you are. This is who you are. You are successful. You are worthy of being successful. And then tackle your past, because my imposter syndrome came from childhood. It did not just appear
Mm-hmm.
when I got a business. It's been
Right.
there. It might have been dormant, but it's been there. So really kind of hone in and do that background work to kind of figure out where the issue arises at, and then go try to tackle that. Sometimes you got to go creep back into your badhood, your childhood, and kind of smack that person and let them know, I don't need you anymore. I don't need that part anymore. I'm okay here. I don't need you anymore. But my imposter syndrome came from childhood. So to work through it is a daily struggle. It is a daily struggle. But I
Yeah.
tell myself I'm successful. I take all of the compliments to heart and I just build off of those. So if anybody is feeling that they having that imposter syndrome, identify it, and then Google ways, AI ways, and find somebody to talk to. Find a coach, a mentor, or someone that you can kind of share your struggles with, and then they can give you ideas, because you're not the only one out there that has that issue. So you just got to get, again, community that can help you through it. And you help me through it because you stay on my neck. Like, you stay
Wait,
on
don't
my
tell the people. Don't tell the
neck.
people. Well, you know me, I'm a friend to the end, okay? And so
It's a good thing. It's
I
definitely
love
is.
supporting people. Yeah, I absolutely love supporting people and making sure that people are getting to the next level. I always tell people, when you're feeling that imposter syndrome and that idea of not being successful, and Jay, you right, because I am very successful, and you have to define what that means for yourself. One of the books that helped me
Exactly.
is
Very not successful.
that part. Okay, disagree. But one of the things that was really important to me is I read this book called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Weiss, and I'll text it to you later. But it was a really, really great book where she does exactly what you talked about. Go into your childhood, address those issues, come to the present, deal with whatever you need to deal with in the present. But she takes it a step further and has you go visit with your future self. And baby,
Mm.
when I visited with my future self, I said, oh, get it to it. She is something fierce. And so that helps you to stay centered on that one thing in the present. And so I absolutely love that. And then you also, let me see, Jay has it. Jay in these questions. He said, was there or is there a movie or book that inspired you to start your own business? Now, I know you named it after your mother, but what inspired you
My
to
mama.
start your
My
business?
mama.
Mm-hmm.
150%, 10 toes down, 4 flat tires, Rose Idris. That is my inspiration. That is where I draw everything from. The lady was phenomenal. Like, I make a lot of stuff, but she made plants, earrings, gold teeth. Like, it was so many things that she made. And we would be up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because of course we were poor. Poor is an understatement. Like, at one point in time, we ate pancakes only because there was nothing else in the house to eat. So that's what we ate. But my mother would be up with us, me and my sisters, and it's a bunch of us. It's a whole arsenal of us. It's 13 of us. I'm number 9 of 13. Okay. So my mama would have me and my little sisters up, and she would give us beads, and she would say, string these beads together, and I'll clasp them together, because clasping them was a little bit more, you had to have a little bit more technique to clasp them. So she was like, y'all string the beads together, find you a bead that you want to put in the middle as a focal point, and string them beads together. And she would say, okay, after her being up all night long with us, maybe getting an hour of sleep, she would get her behind up, she would hit them streets, and she would come back with money and food. And this would be a daily process for her. So the only other movie that I would ever say that inspired me would be The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. That would be the only thing that I know that I love. But my mother, she would be it. That would be it. Her.
I absolutely love that. And not only your mom's inspiration, it's interesting as friends that we both have a similar story in your mom and her creativity, my mom and her home daycare center, and then you become this creative genius, and then I'm this educational genius. And so I love seeing how we mirrored our parents and
Yeah.
how our families in positive ways can really influence us towards our greatness. So I just don't believe that there are universal accidents or mistakes. And Martha says, thank you. And she could see the love radiating from you as you shared. Now, Layla wants to know how to source quality clothing to print on.
So to source is so I get my shirts. I normally use Gildan shirts. And it really depends on what you want, the price point that you want to charge, right? Because you got people out here that don't want to pay for the product. They'll pay Nike and they'll pay Walmart, but when it comes to a little small business, they want to nickel and dime you and why it costs so much. So my standard shirt costs between $25 and $30. If my customer wants a better quality shirt, then I buy that better quality shirt. And it can still be a Gildan shirt, but it could be a Gildan soft brand shirt, or it could be a Bella Canvas shirt or something like that, which are better quality. So to find it, you will go to like a Jiffy Shirts or All Day Shirts. Those are the vendors. And you would literally just click and look on the description of the shirt and find out what the cotton count is, what the polyester count is. It'll tell you how it feels. You can look at the recommendations from the customers that brought it before you, whether they tell you it shrinks when you wash it or if it stays the same size. So that's how you would find the shirts basically for it. The clothing on Alibaba, that's a good place because they're cheaper to buy them from overseas than getting them here in the States. So that's where you would actually find the quality of clothes. Do your research and just look at the brand and look at the rating or the experience from the customers.
And I love that you shared that. You, girl, you sound so smart. My friend's smart. Okay, y'all better know. And so you said that you want to pursue more education. It sounds like you have a PhD in making soap, a doctorate in making candles. So I know that you said you were planning to pursue a degree in business management.
Mhm.
What makes you want to continue to pursue education with everything that you have built? Because it doesn't seem like those credentials are necessary. So, can you talk a little bit about your educational journey?
So I dropped out of school when I was 16. Um, I have put it like this: I have upwards to an eighth grade education on paper. Besides when I got my GED when I was 45. My mama and my daddy always told me that your head is not a hat rack. So education does not start in the school; it starts at home. So you can learn just as much at home. And now in 2026, I can learn whatever I want to learn. Go to YouTube. Okay, so
Right.
um, I think education is a personal journey, right? Um, I have 4 kids. None of them went to college because they said they did not want to go to college. So I'm not going to force you to do something that you don't want to do. I think that getting a degree for me is personal. I
Mm-hmm.
want that piece of paper. Okay, that's what I want. It's not that I need it or whatever the case may be because it's never stopped me. But for me, I want that piece of paper. I ran Bojangles. Well, the last restaurant that I really ran was Crystals, and I was making almost $60,000 a year. That wasn't including bonuses. That was after taxes, not before. I was getting all my bonuses, hitting all my targets and everything. So I was making pretty decent money running a restaurant. And I didn't even have my GED at that point in time. So it's never stopped me from getting anything. However, it was a personal journey. I needed to get that paper to make myself feel better about myself. That was
Mm-hmm.
it. And to get my bachelor's degree, not my associate's degree, just to have it on the wall. That's it. Or you know, having an education is important. However, if you really want something, it's not going to stop you from always getting what you want. I think, again, education is a personal journey. If you want a doctorate, go out and get it. And I got friends that got doctorates. I have a lot of friends that they got a lot of plaques on their wall.
Right.
But it's a personal journey because just because you got all those degrees don't mean you're going to make that money.
That's true. And I
Okay, you
think it
got.
depends on what it is that you want to do in life. Like
Mhm.
Jay just mentioned, Princess Coach Carrie was successful in assembling a team of financial advisors to help people to combat their financial struggles. And I still do that to this day and do. But what I wanted to point out was I want you to share a little bit more about because you didn't just drop out of school at 16. So I'm your friend, so I know what really happened. So I'm not gonna let you be on here talking about, oh, I just dropped out. That's not what happened. You were in school, and then
So
the school didn't have a business together. So let's tell the real
drop
story if
the
you don't
T.
mind.
So I grew up Muslim. We lived in Chicago, and we went to a small private school called Sister Clara Muhammad. Now, Sister Clara Muhammad, after a while, they lost their accreditation. Anyway, so I don't even think my 8th grade diploma is real. If I really want
Don't
to say,
tell all the story. Wait,
right,
just a little bit. Move forward.
right.
No,
So I was going to that school. My daddy decided that after that school closed, that he did not want his daughters going to public school. Okay, but what's the alternative to public school? All right, there was none. So at 16 years old, or well, not even 16, at whatever age you were when you got out of 8th grade, right?
between 12, 13, 14,
Okay,
depending
12,
on your
13,
birthday.
14 years old. We're just going to say 14. At 14 years old, I graduated from the 8th grade from Sister Clara Muhammad School, and that is where my formal education stopped. My mother handed me a GED book, and she said, go study the book and then go into your local alderman office and take the test. And I was like, huh? Like I said before, I struggle with certain things. I don't read for joy. I read because I got no choice to do so. So I'm not good with math. Math is not my best friend. I can count money, and I know my percentages from running these companies. So you're not gonna get me with no money. However, I'm not. When they introduced alphabets and numbers together, that's when it left my head.
Right, algebra.
Exactly. I remember saying, "Mama, why is A plus B minus, what is all of this? Why? What is this?" What, over my head. So
right.
she gave me this book. I opened the book. It looked like Spanish to me. I don't speak Spanish, so therefore I closed the book. We moved from from Chicago to South Carolina. At this point in time, she says, okay, we're going to put you in school. I don't know the conversation that my mother and my father had, but okay, you can now go to school. At this point, I am supposed to be a junior in high school. But I didn't go to the 9th grade, and I didn't go to the 10th grade. So why am I a junior? So we went to Burke High School, and my mother conjured up some whatever, and I was a junior. Had a junior homeroom, took junior classes. I passed my classes. The only class that I did fail was English, but I passed everything else. Was hard as heck because this is foreign. I'm in a place where we're changing classes. Clara Muhammad, the teachers came to you. You didn't go to them. I'm lost. I'm discombobulated. I'm all over the place. So in the 12th grade, 11th grade homeroom, some 12th grade classes, I see that they have junior ROTC on my schedule, and I'm like, and at that time of my life, at 16 years old, there was no junior ROTC for Sameerah. I was very combative. I was very aggressive. I was very in your face. So you can't get in my face, because my response would be for me to get back in your face, and I'm gonna lay hands on you because you wasn't ever gonna get the upper hand of me. I was teased because of my birthmark, so I had a very big chip on my shoulder. So I told my mother, I was like, Mama, I can't take ROTC. I said, let them, let's go up to the school and let them give me gym back. Go to the school. We go to the administration office, and his name was, I think, Charles. He was this light-skinned guy with curly hair. And then we went to Mr. Gilliard, who was the principal, and they sat us down. They were like, well, Miss Idris, we see that Sameerah doesn't have any transcripts from the previous school that she went to. So of course that stumps my mother. What is she going to say? What is she going to do? She can't pull them out the air. You know what I'm saying? And we don't live in a day of AI where I can go and say, go make me some high school transcripts real quick and call it a day. That's not there. So there's nothing that she can do to produce this transcript from this school to say that I can actually be a junior. So then the principal was like, well, let's tell you what to do. You go back to the 9th grade and you start all over from the 9th grade. And I'm like, huh? If I can show you that I can do 11th grade work, why are you sending me back to the ninth and the 10th grade because it was my assumption is in order for me to do the 11th grade work, I got to know how to do ninth and 10th, right? So I'm like, so I remember looking at her and she was like, well, Sameerah, it's some other people that did it. And I said, Mama, no disrespect. If you want me to go back to the ninth grade, you do it for me. I got up. I walked out the door, I closed the door. I left the school and I never went back. The next time I went into Burke High School, I started my GED classes at night because I said, okay, well, let's just go to night school. Went to night school, got into an altercation with a guy that was in the night school. I was like, I'm not going back. And I didn't go back. I was just that. And then I just fast forward through life. I started working at Taco Bell, stayed there, transitioned through I don't know how many fast food restaurants, did a few call centers, but I never felt like I was complete. I always felt like I was missing something. It was like, okay, I didn't have that experience. I didn't have the walking across the stage or going to college. And I wanted to go to college. I mean, like a different world was a thing. I wanted to go to college like Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert. I wanted to go to college. Right? I had every college sweatshirt that you could possibly think of because I wanted to go to college. But I got married early. I had 4 kids by the time I was 25. What was I going to do besides be a mama and make sure that my kids was taken care of?
But
so at that point in time, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I love that, and I appreciate you sharing that part of your story because there are so many people who are successful in business but don't have that traditional business route. And I remember telling you yesterday that most people who become millionaires is 2 things that they have in common. They dropped out of school at some point, and they usually become millionaires in their 50s. So I told you yesterday, you are right on track. Okay. And so
you be that millionaire.
Yeah, but I appreciate your transparency and sharing that because sometimes people feel like because they didn't take the traditional route, that means that they are not going to be able to be successful. And you sitting here being successful, even though you had to take a different route from other people, I think is a really, really big deal. And so I appreciate you sharing that. But I also wanted to talk about this mobile business model. You said that you wanted to take Island Rose directly to people instead of waiting for them to find you, because we already have some people on here that want the link, which I'm going to drop in the comment sections. Martha says she wants to purchase some soap. Is there a link? And yes, there is, Martha. We absolutely have links where you will be able to make purchases. You can shop Island Rose Essentials on Facebook, www.facebook.com, and that's /Island Rose 41. I'm going to put those up again at the end, but in case Martha needed to jump off, I didn't want her to miss that opportunity. So absolutely make sure that you make those connections, and you can also connect with Sameerah on Facebook at sameerah.jones.7. So make sure that you connect with her as well there. But I'm just curious in terms of that mobile, what does that chapter look like for you as you continue to build?
The mobile chapter, I want a mobile trailer.
Okay.
I don't know if I want a mobile food trailer because food is my background. I love food. I don't like to cook it, but I like to, anything with management, I'm good at, right?
Okay.
So I'm toggling between I'm serve saved and I want to become a proctor again because I used to be a proctor. So I want to become a proctor again because then I can administer the tests to help people that are in the restaurant industry or in the food truck industry obtain their serve safe, because that's one thing they got to have in order for them to even operate a restaurant. You got to have food safety on your belt in order for them to have that food truck, or even the manager has to have it to work inside of the restaurant, because you got to know about food safety. So that, and then that will be me like outsourcing myself to food trucks basically, because restaurants already got their people. Food truck need a person that can this door, and now you're getting dinged with this, that, and the third. But so that would be one. But the mobile, I think I want a mobile candle shop or a mobile Island Rose Essential mobile, where I pull up And inside of that trailer, I could teach classes. I can go to impoverished areas. That would be my start, because my biggest thing was the Island Rose Foundation. Ultimately, that's it. I want a house in an impoverished area, and I want to create each room dedicated to soap making, bakery, electrician, and everything. And I just want kids to come in, or young adults to come in and learn a trade. Because again, like my mom said, if you can do something with your hand, you will never be broke. So we're going to teach you how to do something with your hands so you can make some money.
I absolutely love that because you sat with your mom at the kitchen table and built something. And I love that you're talking about building something for other people's children. But what do you want your children and your grandbaby legend to see when they watch you build Island Rose Essentials LLC?
I want my kids, which they see, my kids are my biggest supporter. So they are my test subject. They get the soap first. They tell me, "Oh, Mama, no, it dries your skin. Oh, I don't really like that one. Do this with it." So they're my biggest supporter. They are with everything, hands down. My children, I call them the four chambers of my heart. So those four literally are my everything. I wish that I could have done more for them. I wish the knowledge that I had now, I could have given them when growing up. But for my legend, Legend has his life insurance policy already that his Mima got him. Legend is about to get his bank account that his Mima got him. He's going to get him some stocks and bonds. My goal is by the time my grandson reaches the age where he has to go in that bank account, he can go get his down payment for his car. He don't have to worry about nothing. He will be set up for success at a very early age. I don't want him to have to struggle, or as they say, get it out the mud, because my kids had to get it out of the mud. Whatever my children are successful with, they did the dirt, they did it and got it themselves. So I want to nix that generational curse with my grandchild and make sure that he never has to struggle to get it out of the mud. It's easier in life when you have you have that money, you have that financial stability there when you're growing up. You're not thrusted into this world and don't have nothing, and now you just bum fumbling all over the place trying to find everything. So that's what I want, to make sure my grandson doesn't want for nothing. He is set for life starting at now.
And I absolutely love that. You want to make sure that that is something that's in place for your grandchild. And I tell people all the time, you have to make sure that you do those things because we have, similar stories where my mother, of course, passed at the age of 39. She didn't have life insurance. There was no generational wealth. And so we had to do exactly what you said, which is get it out of the mud. And sometimes the mud gets dirty, okay? And you have to do
No,
what you
no, no.
have to do.
Sometimes the mud is quicksand. It ain't even mud. It's
It can
quicksand.
feel like quicksand, but that's why having a
Exactly.
community around you is so important. And I'm so grateful that you are one of my life insurance clients, one of my financial
Excellent.
clients. So it's a blessing to be able to be a blessing to other people. And so setting up those accounts for your children, for your grandchildren is important. This has really been such an amazing, amazing conversation. I wish we had more time, but you all make sure that you connect with Sameerah on Facebook at facebook.com. I'll drop these links in the comments again. I also wrote a great article on her last Thursday, so I'll put that in the comment again. It has all of her contact information. And then make sure that you stop by and shop Island Rose Essentials LLC on Facebook. And in closing, do you have any upcoming events or classes or courses or things going on where people can support you?
So right now, I am currently finishing up my website because I want people to be able to just go to islandroseessentials.com, click on it, go shopping, pop that stuff in the basket. I get that lovely email. I ship it out. Um, in the next maybe 30 days, I will have classes, but those classes will be listed on my website. And those will be candle making classes, shirt making classes. The biggest thing with a young lady that I partner with here in South Carolina, her name is Itisha Felder. She is the GOAT with making shirts, and that's my craft boo. That's the person I bounce all the ideas off of. We started a craft cast called T-shirt Talk Tuesdays. So we're actually working and putting together a perfume making class where they make the roll-on perfume. So that's what we already started promoting it. We just don't have the date and the time yet. So we're going to narrow down the date, the time, and then that will be our very next class that we're going to do. Is that?
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on Carrie Connects. I know that you say that I keep my foot on your neck.
Yes, you do. You are such an inspiration, Carrie. I'm not gonna lie. You one of those people. I'll see that text and I'll be like, oh my God, she gonna get me. I'm not that you do, but I have a lot of respect for you. Like a lot.
Likewise.
Because you want me to succeed. And you're one of those people that you're always telling me, Sameerah, make sure you keep your life. At one point, I let my life insurance policy lapse every other second. I can actually say, girl, I got a letter from them and they raised my insurance up.
I love
1 year.
that. Yeah.
So you just make sure that you keep me on point. So because you don't want me to struggle. You don't. You are definitely a genuine person who does not want your friends to struggle.
Absolutely. And with that being said, you all connect, because community matters. Community is important. We have real conversations here. We make real connections. We don't want you to struggle. We want to see you do well. Now, tomorrow on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, I am doing a special edition of Carrie Connects for Mental Health Awareness Month with my guest, Antoine Dwayne Jones. You all don't want to miss that conversation talking about men and mental health and women and mental health. It is a special blue and white edition because that is my fraternity brother. And so I want to make sure that you all stay connected, build community. That's what this is about. If you got value, make sure that you share this conversation with your network. We appreciate you all being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And then, of course, as always, on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, welcome in. Let the good vibes all begin. Something good is about to happen. Sure. I've been waiting on you. Got a seat with your name. Started with a coffee chat. Now we about to change the game. You got a story worth telling, and I got a room full of ears. So drop whatever you've been holding. Get ready because your time is here. Because when real people talk to real people, something shifts. When real stories meet real listeners, something lifts. Every Saturday we show up and we bring our best. Show up to Carrie Connects and leave it past. Show up. Something is happening here. Carrie Connects. Carrie Connects. This is your moment. Come near where every story intersects and every heart connects. From a coffee chat to the main stage, just bring who you are. Carrie Connects. Carrie Connects. Connection is the start. Carrie Connects. Entrepreneurs, voices, friends, where inspiration never ends. You did not come this far just to sit in the back. Everything you are through, we're getting you ready for that. So step into the light. Let somebody see your face. Because the right conversation can change everything in this place. When real people talk to real people, something shifts. And real stories meet real listeners, something lifts. Every Saturday we show up and we bring our best. Show up to Carrie Connects and leave it bright. Show up. Something is happening here. Carrie Connects. Carrie Connects. This is your moment. Come near where every story intersects and every heart connects. Over coffee chat to the main stage. Just bring who you are. Carrie Connects. Carrie Connects. me everything you feel.